Cože je to za dědina nedaleko Hodonína? Je tam studénka kamená.
Ja. 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 Ja.
You told me you'd teach me something useful.
Aye, and I keep my word.
How are you doing?
Good, good. No one's trying to cut my throat, and I've got a proper roof over my head again.
I'm glad it worked out for you.
Sometimes, when I go to the courtyard at night and there's a sudden movement or sound, it makes me jump, but it's just a memory.
Yeah.
Is it true the executioner has a visitor?
And they say he has a hard time finding a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bread, fresh bread, vegetables, fruit, apples.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
Farewell.
Let's talk about the price.
Sure, why not?
Satisfied?
It'll take more than that to persuade me.
All right. And now?
Come now, just a little more and we have a deal.
That's a sum I can live with.
Yeah.
Baked goods, fresh from the oven.
Yeah.
Hey, lad! Don't you want a little wait?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm honoured that you should come to me.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Do you know him?
Riki? You mean Hinak, the courier's son?
Maybe. Do you know where I might find him?
Well, he's not usually around here. Try asking at his home. But I hope you've got a thick skin. The old courier ain't exactly charming.
So you know this Hinek. Can you tell me something about him?
Well, not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
Well, no one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners, and that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
What can you tell me about the old courier?
He's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Why do they call Hinek Riki anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you ever get downwind of him, you'd understand. Tanning isn't a trade for a weak stomach.
True enough, but not every courier gets cursed with a name like that.
Well, Hinnick's nature's no sweeter than his smell.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his old man, he doesn't talk much to anyone. And then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Rattay for thieving. And in Neuhoff, he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies, and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits?
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
Well, he's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called. May the Lord watch over you.
I'm honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me. May the Lord watch over you.
Good afternoon.
What can you tell me about this Hinek?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular. No one cares to talk to him.
Why not?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I heard he keeps bad company.
Why do they call him Riki anyway?
Why do you think? Because he's a tanner, of course.
So why don't people like him?
The old tanner's not an easy man. But a son should never let his father down. Enoch does nothing to help. He's always far too busy with his own affairs, though I wouldn't like to say what those are.
What's the tanner like, Hinek's father?
The less I see of him, the better. He's not exactly sparkling company.
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing. May the Lord watch over you.
Fit to drop.
What's the matter?
Well, I spent a few days staying at my brother's in Uzhitz, and I couldn't get one good night's sleep there.
Bad dreams?
No. The problem is his house is too close to the tavern.
Ah, I'm with you. I've heard the tavern in Uzhitz can get a bit, well, lively.
You have no idea. They're boozing and yelling almost till daybreak. And when I asked my brother why he doesn't do something about it, he said it was the parish priest and his cronies, so they let them be.
The parish priest, Father Godwin?
The very same.
Goodness me, a servant of God carrying on. Why, it's a sin. One of the 7 deadly sins, gluttony.
It's one more for us than another for them.
God have mercy.
What was that noise?
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hynek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Watch your tongue, peasant. I'm an envoy of Sir Radzig Kobyla, and this is an official investigation. Stop trying to put me off and tell me where your son is right now.
I apologize if I offended you, young man. But still, I don't know where Hynek is. He turned up at the house a while back, but then he vanished again in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went? What?
Look, it's been clear to me for a long time that my boy was headed for the gallows. But I'm still his father, right? And you can't expect me to rat on my own son.
If you value your son's life at all, you better pray I find him, because I'm not the only one looking for him.
That's no surprise. But what of it? If you're here on behalf of Sir Radzig, there's nothing waiting for Hynek but the gibbet.
It doesn't have to be that way. If Hynek cooperates, he can save his neck.
I can't say you put my mind at ease. But to hell with it. I'll tell you what I know. All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hynek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there, is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then.
Go. And if he's really in as much shit as you say, please, try and find him. Is there something you need? Hey, who's there?
Coming?
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hynek.
Then ask someone else. I've nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hynek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
Of course we can't leave him be. Front would slit your throat, you.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I I just need to know where Riki is. It's urgent.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's likely Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair, and believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him, and it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
All right. But give me your word of honor you won't tell anyone about our deal.
You have my word.
Fine. So, what do you want to know?
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.
I hear Hinek has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
I happen to know it's a dark place, a cave or an old mine shaft.
how do you know that?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
And do you know of any mine shafts nearby?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village, up in the woods above the cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close to the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft. Take care now.
Just don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why do we have to sniff around for some stinking tanner? Can't we just leave him be?
Don't be such a knucklehead. Of course we can't leave him be. Runt would slit your throat if he heard you.
But he's just some cowardly peasant. What can he do to us?
You really can't get it into your thick skull, can you? It's about our fucking reputation.
How can it help our reputation? Folk already shit themselves when they see us.
God-fearing folk, maybe. But in this trade, even your own people have to be afraid of you. Otherwise, they might get the idea they can do without you. Get it?
All right. But that fellow ain't one of us, though.
You moron. That's just why we have to get him, right? So no one else tries it on.
It's all the same to me. I'll skewer him anyway. Just I can't be bothered looking for him.
Well, while we're at it, did you ask about him at the village?
Aye. Nobody knows where he is. Seems he's always wandering off somewhere.
We'll wait and see what the chief says then.
Good afternoon. Take care.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinek, so I came to ask you about him.
Aye, I've seen him often enough. I don't know what I could tell you about him.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening.
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
Look, Hinek's my friend and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms? No. More like hares or other game.
So Hinek is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you. Is it true?
What?
Other whores wouldn't go with him even for money?
The other bathhouse girls are honest, so I don't know. The truth is, I felt a bit sorry for him. Folk don't like him, but it's only 'cause his old man is a grouch and a tanner.
So you only felt sorry for him?
Both of us are the black sheep of the village.
There's nothing more between you?
No, nothing. Maybe Hinek thinks differently, but that's how it goes.
I found out that Hinek goes poaching in the woods and he's got a hideout there. What do you know about it? Don't worry. Hinek has much bigger problems than being caught poaching. And you're not involved in it anyway, are you?
No, I'm not. It's true he used to go hunting in the woods sometimes. When he came back, he'd usually come to me. That's all.
How did you know he'd been to the woods?
He always talked about what he caught, and he never came to me at other times. Probably didn't have the money for it.
Do you know who he sold it to?
He never told me straight up. But who could he sell it to? The innkeeper, I reckon. It makes sense.
For sure. Do you know what route he took? At least the general direction. Anything that could help me find his hideout.
I think he usually went through the woodcutter's camp, 'cause he always brought me freshly chopped firewood, and he had wood chips on his boots.
Good. So at least I know where to start.
Goodbye.
Get it? All right. But that fellow ain't one of us. You moron. That's just why we have to get it, right? That no one else tries it. It's all the same to me. I'll secure him anyway. Just I can't be bothered looking for it. Well, while we're at it, you asked about him and Philip. Aye, nobody knows where he is. He's always wandering around. We'll wait.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why do we have to stick around for some stinking tanner? Can't we just leave him be?
Don't be such a knucklehead. Of course we can't leave him be. Bug would slit your throat if he hurt you.
What can he do to us? He really can't do himself. Our fucking reputation. How can it help our reputation? Folk already shit themselves when they see us.
Did you ask about him?
Nobody knows where he is. Seems he's always wandering off somewhere.
We'll wait and see what the chief says then.
me one. I'll be back in 2 shakes.
Some lads from the stables told me the same.
That's odd then. Like they heard 2 different sermons.
True.
head.
I'm so tired.
I'll drink no more today.
Keep telling you, an axe beats a sword anyway. Fucking weather, fucking tent, fucking camp. I've had enough of this shit. Killing, fighting, never losing, robbing, fucking wars and boozing. Take the woman, burn the village, drink, annihilate, pillage. Burning, wrecking, making strife, how sweet it is, a robber's life.
Twice the best weapon. Ha ha.
Have you lost something?
I just want to eat and sleep and fuck.
Yeah.
Hol az az öldöklő disznó?
Ja.
Itt nem látok! Megjött a mulatság!
Ja. 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 Ja.
Basszás!
Au!
Hagyd abba! Hallod? Állj, feladom!
Na! Na! Ha! Da! Ha!
Hey, what's this here? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
My respects to you.
I'm looking for Hinek, the courier's son. I hear he sometimes comes here. Have you seen him?
Ricky? Aye. He's here now and again. Best ask Raspberry. He's friends with him.
Who's Raspberry?
You'll spot him easy enough. His face is red as a raspberry. Take care now.
God save you. What can I do for you?
Your mates say you know Hinek, the courier's son.
Reeky. Aye, he shows up here sometimes. Why do you ask?
I'm trying to find him.
Good luck, then.
What do you mean?
Reeky is like some bloody hedgehog, always creeping around in the woods. And just as prickly.
So you see him there often?
More like we don't see him.
Has he been here recently?
A few days ago. He came by in the evening, well into his cups. He might have fallen somewhere and broken his neck for all I know.
So he went into the woods?
Aye, like always.
How do you know him?
We worked together building a mill by Yanovitz, and then he vanished. A year later I came here to work, and lo and behold, there's Reeky.
Do you know what he gets up to in the woods?
What do you reckon? Making money. It's no secret he goes poaching.
You're speaking as if that's perfectly legal.
No, no. That's not allowed. I know. I mean, I think he might be poaching. But maybe he's gathering firewood. No way for me to know, right?
Firewood, of course. I hear Reeky has a hideout in the woods somewhere. Do you know where it is?
Aye, I think I was there once.
You think? What does that mean? Either you were there or you weren't.
Well, once me and Hinek had a bit of a drink together here, and we ran out of ale. Hinek said he had some stashed away in the woods, so off we went.
But do you remember anything about it? The direction or which path you took?
Aye, I can tell you exactly. We went from the edge of the camp here along the path down to the creek. A little upstream, there's a fallen tree bridging the water. We went across it to the other side, then we went uphill to a big boulder. You have to listen carefully there.
Why?
There's a spring nearby. Someone put a kind of little mill wheel on the stream below it. You can hear it going clap, clap, clap all day and night.
Uh-huh.
Once you find it, you go around the spring and nearby you'll see a clearing. That's where Hinnick's hideout is. It's an old mine gallery or cave. Farewell.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you've no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
That's not important. The important thing is we have a common foe.
Considering all the enemies I have, the odds of that are pretty high.
I'm talking about the gang that raided the Neuhof stud farm. I know you were there.
I was, but I've got nothing in common with those bastards.
I'll take your word for it, providing you tell me what you know.
I don't know why you should care. If it keeps my neck out of the noose, I'll spill the beans.
That Neuhof raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there, mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhof. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything what moved, then we knew there was no going back.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pavel. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us, plan 'em and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhof, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your 2 gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. Hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Who is this Runt? What does he look like? Do you know anything about him?
I never saw him before, but he's massive and scary as hell. Even his own men are afraid of him.
Did you notice what his sword looked like?
No, it was just a regular sword, I think. Why do you ask?
I think I once had the doubtful honour of meeting that bastard, and he has something that doesn't belong to him. Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sod's pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. I knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them, and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid, they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush will want to hear what you've got to say.
Don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
It might be best if you disappeared. You're no use to me anymore anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll remember this till the day I die.
Best just try living honestly.
I'll do my best. I promise.
Is that some new kind of game?
Yeah.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
Sir, I've been to Ujits, and the parish priest there is very odd indeed. He's very handy with a sword. Do you know anything about him, sir?
Godwin? Aye, an intriguing fellow. He's the youngest son of one of the lords of Kuttenberg. He was sent to the university to become a priest, as is customary with the youngest son. But he didn't much care for it. So when he finished studying, instead of taking up his parish, he went roaming. I imagine he had a pretty adventurous life. And then one day he came back and settled down. Hanush would know more about him.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
I went to Ujit, where they told me I could find Lubosh, only someone had murdered him. It seems they're trying to cover their tracks and get rid of witnesses.
Indeed. The whole affair's becoming ever more suspicious. Have you any further clues?
I found out about another one of them, a crony of Limpy Lubosh's. They call him Riki, and he comes from Ledechko.
You're doing a good job, but you need to be careful. Have you found this Riki fellow?
I'm afraid my news isn't good, sir.
I might have expected as much. Tell me the worst.
This Riki fellow was hiding out in the woods, and his former accomplices really did want to kill him because he, Limpy Lubosh and others deserted them in Neuhof. It seems they wanted no part in the killing. Anyway, Riki told me they were hired by a bandit they call Runt. He's the one who stole your sword. Those murdering whoresons weren't after loot. They just wanted to do damage. And the worst thing is, they have an encampment in the area, and they're getting ready to make more trouble.
Sakra. Anything else?
That's all I've found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new. God be with you.
Yeah.
God save. How may I help you? Good night. God bless.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Naturally.
Agree?
You're a right pinch purse.
What about this?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost.
Well, that's a decent price.
Good luck then. Good luck then. Take care.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Why not?
Is this enough?
That's not enough. See now, I knew we'd come to an agreement.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
How are things here?
Our blacksmith has been feeling low the last few days on account of the Ratai tourney. There's no cheering him up, except maybe my schnapps might drown his woes. And if that wasn't enough, everyone here tries to help their neighbour, but it ain't easy. Just the other day there was a fellow here from Rovna complaining about how things are there.
Farewell. And that coward has trampled our cabbages 3 times already.
What's so hard about putting up a fence?
Ask him that. You'd think it was a cathedral he was building, always adding fancy bits and decorations. All I want is something to keep that damn cow out.
Hasn't he been at it a couple of years?
For work and home.
Oh.
God be with you.
What's the matter?
It's the tourney. It always upsets me.
What tourney?
You don't know about the tournament? Sir Hanush decided to revive the regular Ratai tournament again. The first one will be tomorrow, in the courtyard at the upper castle.
Why would the tourney upset you?
It brings back sad memories about my son Svartalbruk. God rest him. He always loved sword fighting. Even when he was just a lad, he used to duel with his mates with sticks. And for years he saved every groschen he got so he could buy a real weapon. Wasn't long before he had the hang of all sorts of fancy strikes and feints. So when he heard Sir Hanush was holding tourneys for common folk, he was first in line to enroll.
I see. And he got hurt in the arena?
Oh, heavens no. Sir Hanush set the rules in such a way that nobody would suffer more than a bruise or two. And he makes damn sure the rules are obeyed.
Did your son ever win the tourney?
Oh, aye, more than once. Svartalfluk wasn't the strongest, but he was agile as a weasel, and he put his heart and soul into it.
So what happened to him then?
Well, this fella by the name of Peter enrolled. They called him Black Peter on account of the colour he wore. He beat all comers. No man could match him. Only Svartalfluk was determined to take him, so he started training all the hours God gave. He even started going to Captain Bernard for lessons. And in the last tourney, he got the better of Black Peter in the end and won the prize. Only he never came home that day. I figured he was having a drink in Rattay to celebrate his victory. But he didn't even turn up in the morning, and I started getting worried. I was just on my way to look for him when some merchants came by. They'd found my boy by the road just past Rattay. He was still alive, but he was burning up and shaking like a leaf. I sent for the sawbones right away. But before the day was out, I had to send for the priest.
Do you think it was this Black Peter who killed him?
It was the first thing crossed my mind. Aye. But there's no proof. It could have been anyone, I suppose.
Do you know anything about this Black Peter?
No, not much. I asked around, but nobody knew nothing much about him. Except he was a stuck-up bastard. He always just turned up for the tourney, took his prize and vanished.
What tourney?
You don't know about the tournament? Sir, first...
Did Svartalfluk have any wounds?
Only a couple of scratches and bruises from the tourney. Nothing that would kill a man. Not even the sawbones could figure out what done him in.
Look, I'll try and find out what happened to your boy. I can't promise anything, but if I turn anything up, I'll let you know.
Oh, thank you. I swear to Almighty God I won't let you go unrewarded.
God be with you.
Come on up and take a look. I've got everything you need. Yeah.
Hey, lad! Don't you want a little wager on the Rattay tourney?
So what are we to do with you, Henry?
What now? Shall we take a walk?
You don't give up, do you? Well, let me think. I've got lots to do right now. But I'd love to go another time. Will you come and see me again?
As her ladyship commands?
You jester.